Welcome back to the channel. Today, we are taking a detailed look at the 2026 Honda Gold Wing Trikes, a machine that combines the luxury, technology, and long-distance capability of Honda's legendary Gold Wing with the distinctive stability and road presence of a three-wheel configuration. If you are looking for something more comfortable than a conventional motorcycle, more exciting than a car, and capable of turning a long journey into a genuine experience, this type of touring machine deserves a closer look. Before we get into the details, there is one important point to understand about the 2026 Gold Wing Trike. Honda's factory Gold Wing lineup is built around two-wheel motorcycles, while Gold Wing Trikes are generally created by specialized manufacturers that convert the Gold Wing platform into a three-wheel machine. Because of that, exact specifications can vary depending on the conversion company and the equipment selected. However, the heart of the machine remains the Honda Gold Wing platform, and that is where much of its appeal comes from. At the center of the Gold Wing experience is Honda's famous 1833cc horizontally opposed six-cylinder engine. This engine is one of the biggest reasons the Gold Wing has developed such a strong reputation among serious touring riders. Instead of chasing an aggressive, high-revving character, Honda designed this powerplant to deliver smooth, effortless performance. The six-cylinder configuration gives the engine a refined feel, with strong torque and remarkably smooth power delivery. For everyday riders, that means you do not need to constantly work the engine to enjoy its performance. Twist the throttle and the Gold Wing responds with strong, controlled acceleration. Whether you are entering a highway, overtaking slower traffic, or climbing a long mountain road with a passenger and luggage, the engine has the kind of reserve power that makes the motorcycle feel confident rather than stressed. When that powerful engine is combined with a three-wheel conversion, the result is a very interesting machine. A trike is heavier and behaves differently from a traditional two-wheel motorcycle, but the Gold Wing's strong torque helps compensate for that additional weight. Instead of feeling like a machine that is struggling to move its mass, the Gold Wing Trike can feel surprisingly relaxed at cruising speeds. One of the most interesting features available on the modern Gold Wing platform is Honda's dual-clutch transmission, commonly known as DCT. The 7-speed automatic transmission allows the rider to concentrate more on the road and less on manually changing gears. For long-distance touring, this can be a major advantage. Think about spending several hours riding through traffic, entering towns, leaving towns, climbing hills, and cruising on highways. With a conventional manual transmission, your left hand and foot are constantly involved in shifting and clutch operation. DCT reduces that workload significantly. The system can select gears automatically while still allowing the rider to enjoy manual control when desired. This feature becomes especially attractive on a large touring trike. The Gold Wing is already a substantial machine, and reducing the amount of work required from the rider can make the entire experience more relaxing. For someone planning to ride hundreds of miles in a single day, that extra convenience can make a significant difference. Another practical feature of the Gold Wing platform is reverse capability. When you have a heavy touring machine loaded with luggage and carrying a passenger, moving backward manually can be difficult. Reverse makes parking and low-speed maneuvering much easier. This is one of those features that may not sound exciting when reading a specification sheet, but after owning a large touring machine, you quickly understand why it matters. Now let's talk about the design, because this is where the trike configuration really changes the personality of the Gold Wing. The standard Gold Wing already has a distinctive appearance. It is large, sophisticated, aerodynamic, and clearly designed for long-distance travel. The bodywork provides wind protection while giving the motorcycle a premium appearance. The front end looks substantial without being unnecessarily aggressive, and the overall design has a sense of movement even when the bike is standing still. Transform that platform into a trike and the visual impact becomes even stronger. The rear of the machine becomes significantly wider because of the additional wheel and suspension arrangement. Depending on the conversion, the trike can receive custom rear fenders, integrated lighting, modified bodywork, different wheels, and additional storage solutions. The result is a motorcycle that looks less like a conventional bike and more like a luxury touring vehicle built for the open road. But the three-wheel configuration is about much more than appearance. One of its biggest advantages is low-speed stability. On a conventional two-wheel motorcycle, the rider has to maintain balance whenever the bike is moving slowly or standing still. A trike removes much of that balancing requirement because the rear structure provides additional support. That can be particularly attractive to riders who love touring motorcycles but want a different riding experience. At a stoplight, while maneuvering through a parking area, or when loading luggage, the three-wheel platform can provide a greater feeling of stability. However, it is important to understand that a trike does not ride exactly like a conventional motorcycle. The rider must become familiar with the way the machine responds to steering and cornering. Instead of leaning through a turn like a traditional motorcycle, the trike requires a different technique. The wider rear end also changes how the machine occupies space on the road. That means the Gold Wing Trike is best suited to someone who is willing to learn and adapt to its unique characteristics. Once the rider becomes comfortable with the configuration, the three-wheel design can provide a very distinctive combination of confidence and comfort. Suspension is another critical part of the Gold Wing experience. Honda developed the Gold Wing with a sophisticated front suspension system designed to provide a smoother and more controlled ride than a conventional motorcycle setup. The rear suspension is also engineered with long-distance comfort in mind. For a touring machine, this is extremely important. You do not buy a Gold Wing because you want to ride for 20 minutes and go home. You buy it because you want to spend hours on the road. Every bump, expansion joint, rough surface, and change in pavement quality can affect rider fatigue. A good touring suspension reduces those effects and allows the rider to stay comfortable for longer periods. With a properly engineered trike conversion, the goal is to preserve that comfortable character while adapting the rear of the machine to the additional wheel. Braking is equally important. A machine of this size and weight needs strong, predictable stopping performance. The Gold Wing platform uses large disc brakes and modern braking technology designed to provide controlled deceleration. On a trike, braking becomes particularly important because the vehicle carries substantial mass. When you add a passenger and luggage, the total weight increases even further. This is why high-quality braking components and a professionally engineered conversion are essential. Now, let's move inside the cockpit, because the Gold Wing is not simply about mechanical performance. It is also about creating a premium touring environment for the rider and passenger. The cockpit is designed around comfort and convenience. Modern Gold Wing models feature advanced displays and smartphone integration, including Apple CarPlay and Android Auto compatibility. That means riders can connect their smartphones for navigation, music, communication, and other supported functions. For long-distance touring, technology like this can make the journey much easier. Instead of relying on a separate navigation device or repeatedly reaching for a smartphone, important information can be integrated into the motorcycle's infotainment system. Comfort is another major selling point. The riding position is designed for long hours on the road, while the passenger area provides a more substantial touring experience than what you would find on a typical performance motorcycle. Storage is also a major advantage. Depending on whether the trike is based on a standard Gold Wing or the touring-focused Gold Wing Tour, riders can have access to substantial luggage capacity. That makes it possible to pack clothing, electronics, travel equipment, and other essentials for multi-day trips. And this is where the Gold Wing Trike really makes sense. Imagine leaving home in the morning, riding several hundred miles, stopping at different towns, crossing highways and scenic roads, and arriving at your destination without feeling like you have spent the entire day fighting the motorcycle. That is the purpose of the Gold Wing. It is not primarily designed to be the fastest motorcycle on the road. It is not trying to compete with lightweight sport bikes. Instead, it focuses on delivering a smooth, comfortable, powerful, and luxurious touring experience. Fuel capacity also plays an important role in long-distance touring. The Gold Wing platform provides a substantial fuel tank, helping reduce the number of stops during a journey. Of course, real-world range depends on riding style, speed, passenger weight, luggage, road conditions, and the specific trike conversion. Another major advantage is the character of the six-cylinder engine. At cruising speed, the engine can feel remarkably calm. There is a sense that the motorcycle is designed to cover distance rather than constantly demand attention from the rider. That relaxed personality is one of the reasons Gold Wing owners are often extremely loyal to the platform. The trike conversion adds another layer to that personality. The wider rear stance gives the machine an unmistakable road presence. Pulling up at a destination, the Gold Wing Trike looks substantial, premium,